Brian back here with a look at Caspa and take a look at a few charts here today. See if we can figure out when we're going to have this alt season with this crypto market and see if we have any signs heading that way. Now this is the DXY, the dollar index. You can see here this thing is flirting with a major breakdown, right? I mean, it's right on this bottom of this wedge right here. Okay, the RSI on the monthly. See where she's at. Right down at the very bottom, it's actually turning bullish on the stochastic here. The weekly. See where the weekly's at. The weekly. Weekly actually. We got here bullish divergence on here at DXY. Yeah. This could be a like a liquidity sweep down here, then a push back up. What's the daily? Not too bad, right? I mean, heading to the upside. You got this low, and you could count it as a lower low with that wick. Then over here on the RSI, you got this low and a higher low. So you got some bullish divergence working in here on the DXY. It looks like it could make another run back up here, right? So usually when the DXI is dropping, risk on assets like crypto and stuff, gold, silver, are a big thing when this DXY is falling. But sometimes it ties in with crypto, and but I like to keep an eye on that thing for sure. Dow Jones. Let's see what the big markets are doing here. Quantity monthly. That's where we want to be, right? Wow, look at that B bottom, that B recovery on this thing. Look at that. That is a beautiful B bottom. Look at this thing down, touch, and fires right back up. Now if we put a Fibonacci on this, we're looking for this fifth wave on this thing. So still got a ways to go here, I guess. We're looking around 50,000 for the Dow Jones. Let's take a look here real quick at the S&P. Well, let's take a look at gold. Ooh, look at this thing. I mean, it is, well, it's hitting some targets we had here. 34.90. Look at this. You got your 5 waves here. And gold is, look at that candle. Wow, on the monthly. That thing is just firing right up. And we used a trend-based Fibonacci on this, and also just a regular Fibonacci. And it's done at 4.236. Look at that, right up through. Now, the RSI, gold, look at this thing. It's pretty oversold, right? This on a monthly. Thing is up here. It's we're 97.48 and 97.48 down on the stochastic here. Getting pretty high, right? And be probably looking for a retracement here pretty soon with gold. And made it up through here. The weekly, I mean, this thing is just fired up there. The weekly, you got some bearish divergence here. You got this high and a lower high coming in. I'm not telling you what to do with gold if you own any or anything like that, but got some bearish divergence on the weekly. It's starting to look pretty oversold, right? My buddy, he collects a lot of silver. Oh my God, he's got so much of it. He keeps most of it, on hand. But where are we at here with silver? $43. Nice. I honestly did not know silver was up there. It's working through. The 618.702. Wow, look at that. Silver, unbelievable. $43. I remember a couple of years ago, I was stacking a little bit, mostly like silver dollars. I was getting them for like $17. So nice, double, over double the money on that so far on this. $43. Wow, that's pretty awesome. It could be had new all-time highs, or a triple top, right through here. Put this on here. Keep an eye on silver, it did peak up through here and make an all-time high, but it's a pretty strong area for it, right? You imagine if it busts through up there and heads up to 73? That would be pretty awesome. And the way this is looking, I mean, look at this thing. I mean, if this is a big 1-2 here, 1-2 with your Elliott wave count, this is working on a 3, you know, 4 waves are usually pretty big pullbacks and a big 5th wave to the upside. Very possible, I guess, you know. The monthly RSI, nice. Stochastic was making new highs, that high, higher high, and a higher high. And no bearish divergence there on a monthly, and still bullish on a monthly. The weekly, see where it's at here. Right at the very top of 199. All right, but wow, what a push. That's awesome. I am very excited about that. I haven't looked at silver for quite a while. Now let's go over here, take a look at a couple other things. Oh boy, man, there was a coin on Weex last night that did an unbelievable 268x in like a couple hours. It went from 13 cents up to $70. Isn't that crazy? I mean, unbelievable. And there was people buying it for $70 when people bought it for 13 cents just like an hour and a half before that. It was unbelievable. Here on the this is for the week here, a little bit red. We had Bitcoin run into a major area. We were watching. I'm going to show you here. We were watching for that 618 702. This is the last video we did. Right here is where we put. Look at that. Look at that. Perfectly hit that 618. Boom. Right there. Just tapped it and got rejected. Now, like I said, right, do you remember, go back and watch that video. Are we doing an A, B, and we have a C leg coming down here? Very possible, especially if it doesn't break, make a run back up here and break through that. Now, is it, it could also, there's no doubt about that. It could come up here and hit the 702. Up at about 119.484 and get rejected from there. Just because we make it through a 618 here would not mean we're clear, and that is a very possible scenario. When I look down here and see this, but was this the 5 wave right here? Could be, or could be working on it right up here. This could be the whole 3 and then a 4, 5 up to the upside. Let's get that out of there. Alright, so it worked out just like this over here, pretty much. The RSI on the daily trying to turn back up. Alright, so it is trying to make a turn back to the upside. The weekly is actually bullish, and the monthly. The monthly is at a 60 and a 62. A little bearish on the monthly there. Boy, oh boy, look at these wicks. Look at that. Sellers coming in, pushes the price up here, and you got a bunch of, sellers stacked up through here. Boom, 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 knocking it back down. It's, it's crazy. We're looking for a possible run up here at 133. But if we do get an ABC in here, let's get back in here. Because we hit this resistance here. What if it does roll over from here? All right, on ABC, if it does start coming down, all right, that could end up running down. Let's unlock this and measure this out. You want to learn how to do this stuff, guys? Sign up for a level 3 membership in the description of the video, and come join our Discord. We have 160 some members in there. We'd love to have you. You also get 10 hours of videos to teach you how to start doing stuff that you see me doing the videos. Is charting over 10 hours, over 20 videos, all right, for $15. So come sign up, come join us. We have a alt season coming, and come trade with us, all right? There's a link for Weex in the description of the video. Man, get over there. These guys have launched new tokens every day over there. We'll come right back to this. I want to show you this before I forget. Every single day they're launching new tokens. They have a copy trading over there. They have some really good guys that you can copy trade from. But the liquidity, that was easy to say, liquidity is pretty high over there. So I like trading on Weex. I've been on there for over a year now, trading with on this site. So no, I did not find that in here. That token I was telling you about, 268x. That's absolutely insane. And I think it went back down to 13 cents. Believe it or not. Isn't that terrible? Imagine them people that bought it at 70. That was crazy. I mean, if you would have threw $1,000 in there at I think it was actually launched at like 7 cents, right? And actually sold them all, $1,000. You're talking what? That'd be $250,000 in an hour. That's crazy. Off $1,000. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, and then over here on Weex, you got all kinds of cool stuff, man. There's a link in the description of the video. If you go sign up and you have your friends sign up, you can earn up to $260 by just having them come over and make a deposit and trade. All right, stuff that most of us do every single day. You know, if you're new out there, like I said, check out the level 3 membership in the description of the video and come to watch them videos. And you know, I teach how to chart, look for price targets, all that stuff, and come over and get in the Discord. Got some really great people in there, post and trades every single day. All right, Weex, you have copy trading over here. This guy here, he's pretty popular. Look at that profit and loss the last 3 weeks, $600,000 the last 3 weeks. That's something. I mean, that wow. I'd love to be making that. Hopefully someday, right? You can see here the overall 10x since he listed on here 45 days ago. 78 trades, 78 wins, no losses. That's pretty nuts. 1,441 copiers all time. Right up here, he's almost full. 747 out of 800. Okay, so it's pretty cool, the copy trading thing. They got a ton of stuff on here, ton of promotions up here. Look at this, new user rewards, hot token airdrop, all kinds of stuff. All right, so if you would please go check it out. If I would appreciate it if you use the link. Now Bitcoin does an ABC here. Let's get this off here. This 5 wave. We'll just move it over to the side here. All right, if it does an ABC, this thing could be pulled back down to right around $100,000. All right, be right back. Put this on a weekly because I think we have a support coming up through here. Let's get this to load up. Yeah, we do. All right, so yeah, could get an ABC, could pull down similar to some of these other moves here. Run up, pull back down, run up, pull back. You always get to pull back down, but so if this thing does end up coming, wow, that falls right on that weekly support right there at 100,000. Look at that. You got the closing candles right here, right where that ends. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see an ABC. The RSI on the weekly is actually bullish. All right, so. And you could end up turning back to the upside and running up here in the monthly, 60 and the 62, right in the middle, really. On the daily, where's Bitcoin out? Daily, trying to turn back to the upside. All right, I would think if this thing breaks up through, that 119, that would be a pretty good sign that it's going higher. 119.5, something like that. And if it does, of course, it looks like this could end up doing this to me. All right, and this is what I am seeing. 3 up here, maybe a 4 back here, and then a 5. And that may be the rollover for the ABC. And that would be up up to a 702 and get rejected possibly. A little dangerous area right through here for Bitcoin. All right, this thing ends up taking out 111, 111.7. That would take out any idea of a 5 wave, and I'd be looking for 100,000 on here. So Bitcoin, we'll find out pretty soon, I'm sure, what this thing is going to do. But it did exactly what we thought it was going to do with this 5 wave, right up to that 618, right where we talked last time. Now, what would that do for the rest of the market? Well, if Bitcoin ends up correcting, obviously, everything else is too. And what we've been paying a real lot of attention to is Bitcoin dominance. That's when our alt season is coming, right? When this thing finally breaks down and starts ripping to the downside. That daily RSI is at the top, looking bearish here. The weekly, I'm thinking, look at that weekly. Looks like it, it could do a run up here. If you come on a monthly here, this is what I am, thinking in my head when I look at this chart, right? Is maybe something like this. All right, you got this right here. This would be the first push down to here. Back up here. Then a 3 down. You know what I mean? A 4 and a 5. However it ends up working out. Of course, this 4 can bounce back up pretty high. That's what I am thinking. And what it would do is to come back up, it would be a 382 on a fib. If it does that, let's get this off here. Maybe a retest here. We put a fib on here. Right, like this. Maybe a run back up to that 60.5, 1, 2, and then we get the alt season, really starts. This thing pulls back up to 60.5%. I'm going to be looking, watching. I think that's when alt season's going to kick off here. Now, if it ends up taking out down here this 57.2, that was a major support over here. And once it finally did break down through there, this thing just absolutely went ham. It went nuts, right down through here. That's what we're looking for here. But we could get the 1 down to here, 2 way back up to the 382, and alt season, boom, started right there. That's what I'm looking for here. So we'll keep an eye on this here. Bitcoin dominance over here in CoinMarketCap. Let's take a look at something. Altcoin season is at a 70 now. So 70 out of the top 100 tokens have outperformed Bitcoin over the last 90 days. All right, okay. The top 100 here, Fear and Greed Index is at a 48. Market cap $4 trillion. Average crypto RSI is at a 44, all right, which is about right in the middle here. That's kind of the first time I've seen that on there. Average crypto relative strength index, all right. Now this altcoin season index, this has been going up. Last time we looked at it, it was like 46 or something. It's at a 70. All right, so it's starting to heat up here. It's starting to get serious, right? I mean, look at this. Just a few days ago, it was up. Wow, it was up to 78, 77, 78. Definitely getting there, right? Now, no coin season. Put it on here. That's the past 90 days. Alright, let's go down here. Yesterday was a 69. Last week was a 72. If we come down here, top 100 coins performance over the last 90 days. So that means 70 of these, right down to here, have outperformed Bitcoin the last 90 days. All them tokens right up through here. BNB's doing really good. How about it? I don't know if any of you guys out there have been trading BNB. It has been tearing it up. And if we come down here, then all these tokens Bitcoin has been outperforming. Bitcoin's up 9.42% over the last 90 days. Wow, look at Parkcoin against Bitcoin. It's down 31%. Wow. All right. So, altcoin season. We're definitely keeping an eye on this thing, right? I mean, that's what we want to see, this big massive drop with that dominance. We want to see this thing just roll over and go and for the downside. Now, if we come over here and take a look at Caspa. So I think once we break, we finally get out of this area, right up through here, I think it's going to be full on alt season. All right, this is what I'm thinking. It's going to come down here, bounce back up here to 60.5. And then once this starts down, alt season started right through here. We'll see how it works out. We'll keep an eye on this next time. We're going to put a label up here so we know. Right, this is kind of what I was thinking right up here. Okay, now as far as Kaspa. There we go. Well, I can see that right now. And you got put this on here. Oh, it's already on here. I apologize. That support line coming up through here. All right, we what's the RSI look like? Look at that. That is on the monthly. Look at this thing. I mean, down at the bottom, a 12 and a 10. All right. I mean, that thing is ready to rip, the weekly is bearish coming down on here. Well, I can see that overhead resistance. The daily, see where we're at with the daily here. Boy, these tokens are going to take off, man. I can't wait. This market just tries to put you to sleep or get you disgusted and sell, and then it takes off, and then it pulls one of those deals. But you can see that daily is just about done correcting here. All right. Big thing is, you'll know a bottom is in when it breaks. This resistance coming down through here. When it takes out 9 cents. It's a very good idea. It's heading to the upside when it does that. Now it's getting very close coming down here. Let's get this support right on here. Okay, we're good. We talked about it. Look at that. It did come down here. If you remember a few videos ago, this is daily. This was just 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago. It did end up coming down here. We talked about that. I said it could come down to this area. And sure enough, it did. And this thing is like in a nice area to bounce. Oops, sorry about that. Look at this. It's right up around 618.702. Prime area for this. Could it come down here again? Absolutely, it could. That'd be on a 786, but I think it's finally getting into that area. Where it could take off, and who knows, maybe Bitcoin corrects and these altcoins just start ripping. You'll know. You'll have some leaders out there. Some stuff will really start popping, and you'll know right away. Let's go in here on a 12. Yeah, it's starting to lose this support right here. 12 hour is just about reset. The 8 hour, see where we're at here. Then we're going to take a look at a few things here. That 8 hour is about at the bottom. Well, pretty nice M formation, almost double top type thing going on here. One top, two tops, one here, double top rejection and roll over. Let's go back out here on a daily. I apologize, Discord messages there. Go sign up for that, guys. That level 3 membership, $15, and especially when alt season starts ripping, you're gonna want to be in a group with some people, trading. And I'm telling you what, we got some really, really good people in there. really good traders in there. And you can see this thing, if you come up through here, you can see a break of support right there, possible breakdown. Definitely don't see much of a, like an ABC type structure or anything like that. Let's get this off here. I just think Caspa is just in that area. Could it come back down here and retest this 7-2 area? Yeah, it absolutely could. Do I think it's getting to that point where it's about time for this thing to go? Definitely. You can see that overhead resistance coming right down through here. Like I said, if it takes out 9 cents, this correction is done and this thing's heading back up. I'm not financial advice at all. I'm not a financial advisor, but if I was looking to buy any Caspa, you could be looking at a very, very good spot here. You got this support underneath. You got support diagonal and horizontal on this chart. Definitely looking good here. It's going on a daily. Trying to see like any type of ABC or 5-wave down structure or anything like that going on in here. Maybe we're going up 4. Oh, there you go. Now you got some possible wave counts here. Let's bring our fib out. 382 on there, so you must have a wave inside here, right in here. Went on a 1 hour, we'll probably see it. Oh yeah, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right down through here. Yeah, this thing could be working towards the bottom right now on the 1 hour here. If you're looking for a target right here, it's close. Yeah, points at around 8 cents. That might finish that correction up right there through here. That's on that 1 hour. 4 hour. It's coming right down. Let's see here if that's a major area at all. Let's go to weekly. Yeah, it is. It's in there. You got some candle closes up through here. Yeah, it could turn around from here and bounce. No question about it. Let's get all this stuff off here. I want to look at this chart like this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it could definitely bounce here. And you got all kinds of support through here, especially on a weekly. You got closing candle here, 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 and all kinds of wicks. A wick stopped here, wick stopped there, here, wick, there, wick, everywhere, wick. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, so yeah, could definitely see Caspa turning back here. You got the RSI starting to turn back up on weekly here. You can see it's coming down, starting to level out. I'm looking for a bounce here pretty soon off this thing, no question. I think it right over here. Looks like pulled through a 786 over here though. You get this low. This low here almost came all the way down, but if you put a fib on there, yeah, it came through. And then bounced. But it's in a similar situation over here, except it's at a 618702. If we come off this low, pull it up at the top, look at that, right in prime time bounce area. Wick came down, hit the 786 here. I'm looking for, anywhere in this area here, down to 7.2 for this thing to stop and then head back to the upside. That's what I'm thinking here with Caspa. I don't think it's going to break down and break the support through here. I think this thing's getting ready to run. And like I said, Bitcoin might be going into that ABC and then head back to the upside. Or it could, it could turn up from here and just head up. We're going to have to keep an eye on the key levels on that thing. Like I said, if it breaks down through, let's get this chart back up. It broke 114.8. It's down almost $500 here. Look at this, the last hour. You know, we're starting to get a move here. You know, to the downside here on Bitcoin. Let's open this up. Want a 4 hour. Yeah, you got a breakdown right here. You know, you got a line coming up through here. Look at that. There's your break. You know, this thing could definitely make a run to the downside. That ABC is absolutely a possibility here. Let me do something here. Let's clean this off. Let's just get rid of all that crap, right? We had this here. Breakdown right here. Okay, so we have this breakdown. We have the Fibonacci right up here. Coming over. Alright, so this is what you want to keep an eye on. Any break up here through 119.4, look for it more than likely, especially a closing candle up in this area. Look for it to head towards that 135 area, you know, or start up that way. Any breakdown through, I need to see the top of this, you know, any breakdown through 112.4, you know, that would be about the top of this potential 1, 2, if that's what it's doing, 3, 4, and another 5 up here. You have to keep an eye on that. 112.4, 112,000. If it breaks through 112, look for this thing to head down towards 100, right? Or pull us down on top. That would bring you down to 100,000. 700 area, you know, on this chart here. This is a bit stamp chart. Pull it back up here, but if it ends up breaking up through here, look how the Weex just touched that perfectly. You know, that's why this Fibonacci is such an important tool. I mean, if you don't use it, start using it. I love it. Not any advice at all, but I think you'll really enjoy it. You can see the support up here has gotten broken. You can see Bitcoin do this. You know, make a run down, come back up, retest that as resistance, and then make its move. All right, so keep an eye on Bitcoin. You know, either got an ABC coming here. The question is, will the altcoins take off, or will they correct also? You know, and Caspa doesn't have a whole lot of room to give here. You know, back down to 7.2. You know, but you have Bitcoin losing. You know, a potential $15,000 on an ABC. Maybe this dominance, you know, starts taking a tumble, and these things start going. This is dominance on the daily. All right, you can see right here, yeah, it's trying to make a move back up here. Like I said, that 60.5. You know, that is what I am watching for here. Rejection Altseason started after, you know, up to 60.5, reject, roll over Altseason. That's what I'm thinking. How long could you know, it's hard to say how long this could take really, but you know, that is my opinion. You know, that is what could be going on here. That's like I said, as far as Caspa, doesn't have a lot to give here really. You know, Bitcoin lose $15,000. What's it going to do for this? You know, do they take off when Bitcoin starts correcting, or do they pull down too? You know, any move down for Caspa below 7 cents, then we got problems, right? So we'll see what's going on here. But this thing is in a prime area to possibly turn around and head up. All right. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for checking out my video. I appreciate it so very much. I'll talk to you soon.